Welcome back to another episode of Tom and Tammy's Off-Grid Homestead. Update on our peafowl, peacocks. Mama Peacock had her babies. Let's see if we can find her real quick. I thought I saw her back here somewhere. She had two. The third egg, I'm not sure what exactly happened to it, but it's gone. Here she is. I'm gonna let you guys see. Get the baby chickens. And Mama's just walking back and forth. Here she is. You see her two chicks with her. Doesn't like being cornered. So she has both her babies with her. Baby peacocks. We have been able to cut 10 4x8, 8¼ timbers from some smaller logs that we had out of the log pile, and those are going to become our knee braces. We've already started cutting them, so I've cut the logs into these timbers, which are 4 by 8 1/4 around there, and then we've taken our 7 1/4 skill saw and we cut these pieces out of them. So we have 10 of them that are, I believe it's like 60 inches long, and then I set the Makita, it's the Makita skill saw that we have, which is nice because you can, has a knob on there that you can set for like 45 degrees. So once you get to 45 degrees, it clicks into place. So I was able to cut both ends of these at 45. And now we got to take our sawmill here, right? And we have to cut the ends so they mirror this one. I got the top and the bottom. And we'll go over that as I cut these down for the knee braces for our timber frame build, the crawl space substructure. We're cutting our knee braces, so you can see on the end of this one is my layout. Across this one out, this is our layout. I've already cut this side. What I've done is I used our 7 1/4 skill saw and I set it at 45 degrees, and I went through and I took 10 of these and I did my 45 degree cuts first, top and bottom, and then I'm going through now and I'm cutting these ends off using our sawmill. So I'll demonstrate that. We'll go through, we'll cut a few of these, and then you'll get a chance to see it. I gotta do cuts on all 4 sides. So right now we're just doing the tops and the bottoms. Oh. When we're making these cuts, we have to make sure that we cut the shorter cuts first, which is the outside of the knee brace, before we cut the inside, or these longer cuts, or the short side, however you want to look at it. But these longer cuts we have to cut second. If you cut these longer cuts first, what will end up happening is the beam, you don't end up with enough material in between these bunks on the saw. You just got to keep in mind what you're cutting first and what you're cutting second. do yourself a favor. I learned the hard way that way. I had to shim one because I had cut the long cuts first. I want the outside of our knee brace, the outside with the shorter cuts up, to be my first cut. That way there, I don't have to shim or I don't have to change my saw. I could just go from each cut without stopping. We cut the tops and the bottoms of our knee braces. Now we have to cut the sides. Oh, I'm using our 7 1/4 skill saw. And then these knee braces are all at basically a 45-degree angle. So we're going to take 1 inch of material out of the side so our tenon will be 2 inches thick. We're going to cut the top 1 inch first. Continue on with cutting our knee braces. Right now we're cutting the sides of the faces. I ran out of gasoline yesterday in the sawmill and decided that was a good stopping point. Oh. What I mean by the face of the knee brace. There's our knee brace. We got the tops and the bottoms cut on all of them, all 20 of them, and then I'm cutting the faces right now, and I've almost got half of the faces cut. Gonna add some fuel. Now I'm going through, and this is our last one, our 10th one. Cleaning up these edges after we get done with the sawmill. Cleans up nice and easy. And turn it over. We're going to do the other side. Basically, we're just cleaning up where the two cuts, the horizontal and the vertical cut, meet. And what I'm doing is I'm holding the chisel flat on the surface, and anything that's raised, it acts like a plane. So you can see now it's not taking anything off. Our next step is we have to trim the ends of these tenons off. Okay, we've got 9 of our knee braces, which we did our final cut on. This is our last one to cut. So we're going 5 1/4 square off of this edge. So what I mean is if I were to put a square on here, right, and come straight out 5 1/4, right, and then we're cutting it off at a 45, right, both ends, 5 1/4, 45. And we did that to all 9 of these. And what 5 1/4 is, that's 2/3 of the way through our vertical uprights, which are, it's about 5 1/4, which is 8 1/4. I'm going to cut this off. So those are the tenons for our knee braces for the substructure crawl space of the timber frame. We have 10 of them. Next step is cutting the mortises. Those are all the tenons. We got to cut all the mortises or pockets for our mortise and tenon joinery on our crawl space sub base of the timber frame. Let's recap where we're at on our timber frame build. We have 10 knee braces cut right here, right? We used our Woodland Mills HM130 Max to cut the logs, turn them into timbers. Then we use our timber saw, our Milwaukee timber saw, which is a nice tool. And then we used a combination of our skill saws and such to cut the rest of these. We used our slicker timber chisel and everything. So we cut 10 of these, right? And then up at the timber site, We got all the vertical timbers cut. They're 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Alright. Our knee braces are about 8 1/4 by 4. So far we've sealed all our vertical timbers with a mixture of linseed oil and turpentine, and then we let them set. We basically doused them with that, put a real heavy coat on there. They're dry now. So here's all our vertical timbers with our tenons on them, right? And then here, over here, I'll show you. We got a horizontal scarfed beam right here. That's up off the ground. So we took, this is an 8 by 10 scarfed beam. You can see the scarf joint there with the oak wedge in the middle, right? And that's 35 feet long. We have to cut tenons in that to accept our vertical uprights, and then we have to cut tenons in our vertical uprights and our scarf timber beam to accept our knee braces. Basically those are cross braces. And then we're going to start standing our base, starting at the front. So this side is the front, and we have a scarfed beam there. We have another scarfed beam here that's in pieces, and I still have to cut one more scarfed beam. The last scarfed beam will be along the back here. I don't think you want to miss this. We have to, those beams weigh a ton. Those beams weigh a ton. Just remember, if you're not having your best day, oh, by the way, in the shade it's 95 degrees out. If you're not having your best day, it's all about the attitude. And God bless.